Hello and good morning. It's Phil Thatch and I'm here this morning at Denny Cove, which is part of the South Cumberland State Park. There's the sign behind me. My plan was to get here right at sunrise or within 10 minutes of it, and that has been accomplished. Unfortunately, the gate's closed, so I can't get in, and I think they don't open it until 8 a.m. which is unfortunate because it's currently about 10 minutes till 7 here in the central time zone. So I think what I'm going to do is it's just a few miles down the road is where the Foster Falls State Natural Area is. And I think I recall when I came there 2 or 3 weeks ago, this gate was closed and that gate was open. So I'm going to hang around there. There's some fog in the air. I don't know if you can see it. And I'm going to go to the Foster area just a few miles from here and maybe try to get some fog photos before coming back here. I'm still going to come, I think this gate will be open at some point, to Denny Falls today. But now let's go to Foster. Okay, so the clip that you just watched was made pretty early in the morning, right at sunrise. And then before the clip that you're about to watch starts, I went all the way to Foster Falls just a few miles down the road and made an entire video and then came back. And I was going to put these two videos together, but they're really, really long, so I split them up. So here comes the Denny Falls video, and I'll put a link to the Foster Falls video that I made in between these two clips up at the top. On to Denny Falls. Well, it is 8:06 and I'm back at Denny Cove, and it is open. I love it when a plan comes together. Well, I'm here at the trailhead at Denny Cove State Natural Area, South Cumberland State Park. This one's a lot less developed than the Foster Falls. There's no restroom here. It's all a gravel road leading here. The parking lot's gravel, but I'm really happy that they've made this area. You know, maybe you couldn't have gotten here at nearly as easily before they made this area. So it's really cool that it's here, and it's about 10 minutes after 8. I guess they opened the gate at 8. Temperature's 29 degrees Fahrenheit. That's a little bit below zero for you guys that speak Celsius. And I'm going to start heading to the falls. As I was driving down the gravel road that leads to the parking area here, 3 deer crossed the road not too far in front of me. And as I'm hiking down the trail now, I've seen some more deer scampering around in these woods. It's really beautiful to see the wildlife out. Of course, I don't have any wildlife photography gear with me. I don't carry my big lenses, you know, my 500 millimeters and things of that nature on hikes of this distance. I try to pack as light as I can, and that's one of the reasons why I enjoy taking the Z50 or my XT3 to places like this, because the gear is so light. I have 3 lenses and the Z50, and my pack feels very, very light. And then I'm carrying my Canon M50 that I'm vlogging with today. I mean, and I could vlog with the Z50 just as easily, but sometimes I'll switch to different lenses, and then I'd have to switch back to the 16 to 50 to vlog with, so it's easier just to carry another camera and vlog with it. And I've been really happy with the little M50 as a vlogging camera for the last couple of years that I've owned it. It's a really great little camera for this. I don't think it's in the same league as the Z50 for photography, and really the Z50 has a more pleasing picture for video as well. But I mean, I guess I could have taken Heather's Z50, but let's let Heather keep her camera to herself for a while. All right, onward and forward. I'm not sure how far, but I've hiked a pretty good little ways along a trail that's been just basically flat and boring through the forest. And then all of a sudden you come into this cove area here, and the trail splits. There's a sign down here that says overlook that way, which I think that means I need to go that way to get to the base of the falls. So that's the direction I'm going, and the trail, while still looking not extraordinarily difficult, definitely has ramped up the difficulty from super easy to maybe moderate all of a sudden. And it looks like this is a confluence of two little brooks. There's one right here and another one right over there that kind of join at this spot and flow down this canyon. And I imagine at some point these may become the Denny Cove waterfall. There's some really amazing rock formations also over to my right. I think this is an area where people do some rock climbing quite often. Oh, I'm coming up to another sign and another fork in the trail here. Looks like the trail goes three ways. We can go to the right for Denny West, to the left for Denny East, which is probably the rock climbing opportunities, and straight ahead, Waterfall, 1 mile. So guess which way I'm going? Straight ahead. I've hiked a pretty good ways since I last checked in with you at the split between Denny East, Denny West, and straight ahead for the waterfall. And to my left, we definitely have the top of the canyon, which I guess is where I started. But to my right, there's another huge drop off. And I'm just kind of hiking along this shelf that's relatively flat. I mean, it is descending a little bit, but not much. It's going to be a leg burner coming back up, I'm sure. But so far, nothing majorly steep. It's getting, the trail was pretty smooth for a while, and now it's getting pretty rocky right here. I'm getting a lot closer to the edge of this, but it looks like the trail goes ahead a pretty good ways before I start doing any major descent. I imagine at some point this trail is going to hang a hard right and go down to the bottom of the cove, but so far that hasn't happened. Seeing lots of forest critters. I saw the deer that I mentioned earlier, and I've seen some Carolina wren and some chipmunks scampering around. And it's still a little bit foggy. You know, earlier in the day when I was at Foster Falls, I thought I would get a beautiful fog photograph, and as of yet I haven't come up with any fog compositions, and I'm still not seeing anything that lends itself to a beautiful fog photograph. But I'm keeping my eye out as I hike, and I'll check in with you again a little later. Well, as I was hiking along, I almost found a place that I liked enough to make a photograph of. I wish the ground was level, but I like the fogginess here and that big tree there. And I was about to take a shot. I mean, I was just kind of in the process of deciding to get the camera out when I noticed at the base of the tree is the first sign I've come across in a long time. And I thought that sign being in the shot would ruin the shot, but at least you got to see it in the video. So, buffet, wall access, trail splits off to the right, so I'm guessing waterfall, or that's to the left, buffet, wall access to the left, and I'm guessing the waterfall trail must be the one I'm continuing on to the right. Pretty amazing fog though, huh? I wish I could find a really cool composition. But so far I have not. That bark being stripped off that tree is a little unnerving. Makes me wonder what stripped it off. Some nice, beautiful beech trees down that way that you almost can't see. It's so foggy. Here's another spot that I almost made a photo of. I thought that beech tree looked really pretty, but as I look at it on the back of the vlogging camera, I don't think it can be captured with the camera as beautiful as it is. And this trail, occasionally it just becomes extremely rocky, which is tough on the ankles because these rocks are not laid out flat. But I guess they keep the trail from getting swamped. Look at that. There's a trail marker right there. Doesn't look much like a trail, does it? Oh, I see another trail marker ahead. A trail blaze, I guess is what they call them, on a fallen tree. So I'm definitely going in the right direction, even though it doesn't really look much like it. Whoa, it's tough right there. Yeah, see I don't know if you can see it. See the trail blaze ahead? I'll zoom. See the trail blaze ahead on the fallen tree with all that mess to walk over to get to it. I'm not sure if you could see it in the last shot, so I'll show it to you again as I pass it. In this spot, it looks like you should go to the left, but there on that tree that's leaning over is a trail blaze, which lets me know that I should go this way through all of this mess. For the first time in a while, I can see water. I've been hearing it for a little bit, and this water appears to be coming in from the opposite direction. I showed you a couple of small brooks coming together at the beginning of the cove, way earlier on the hike. And this water is coming in left to right instead of right to left. So I'm not sure how many creeks will be coming together at the waterfall, but and maybe those other two aren't part of the waterfall. Not sure. Very steep here. The bottom of the cove is not far because you can see the water down there, and the top is way up there now. Way up there. I'm not sure what this trail is rated on all trails, but you know, other than the first half a mile or maybe 3/4 of a mile, I would rate this trail as hard. It's really tough. It's not smooth at all. It's easy to lose your footing, and there's a lot of elevation gain. But I am continuing to plug along. Also, although I'm certainly on the trail, as you can see, I haven't seen a trail blaze in a while. I think the last one I saw was that one with that tree leaning over. But I'm certainly on a trail, if not the trail. Continuing along now, getting even closer to that creek down there, and the trail is just a little 18-inch wide shelf on the edge of this mountain, and up ahead is a rock staircase. It looks like it was definitely placed here on purpose. I'm doing some pretty serious climbing now. I don't know if I go back down or if the waterfall's further up in this cove. It's pretty interesting the first time you come here. You know, I'm sure if I come again, I'll be totally reassured because I'll know what I'm doing. But this time, there is a certain uncertainness, if that makes any sense. But it is definitely beautiful here. The trail's funny. It's impossible or difficult to navigate rocks for a while, followed by brief sections of easy to walk, muddy trail. I like this little area. Lots of beautiful Douglas firs. Oh, I believe in the distance, over in that direction, I believe I can see the waterfall. So I thought this trail was going to cut down to the right and go back in that direction to the falls, but instead It's this other creek entirely. And the waterfall is over here. So you don't even go all the way down to the bottom of this thing. And now to get to the waterfall, there's a pretty good bit of climbing. Here's another rocky staircase to go up. This one's actually pretty nice by comparison. There's rocks that you can put your hand on to steady yourself as you climb these. Look at that little spot. I may come back and make a photo of that. Oh, this place is awesome. There's the falls there. And then there's the big falls. This is really, really beautiful. Really beautiful indeed. Look at that. Okay, now that we know we're here, I'm gonna look around for a place for a composition. Denny Falls. Ooh, I can feel my heart beating. I've only gone probably 30 yards since my last clip, but I'm pretty much at the falls. I mean, you can get closer, but I think even to get the whole falls in from here, I'm gonna need an ultra wide. So I'm gonna stop right here and set up. I think I've worn a little bit too much jacket. So while I'm working, I'm gonna take this heavy jacket off and just wear my sweatshirt. And I may hike back with this big jacket tied to my camera bag, or maybe I'll tie the sweatshirt to my camera bag and put the big jacket on. I don't know, but whatever, I'm totally sweating right now. And next time I check in with you, I'll be showing you compositions that I'm working on. Okay, so I tried my first shot from here, kind of looking straight up at it. And I kind of like that, but there's a lot of sky in the background. I may try to climb up over there, maybe go down that way and then climb up and get it from the side, from a little bit higher vantage point. I'm not sure how much the trees over there. I may see that large tree there. I may try to do it from kind of the base of that tree, just on the far side of it, or maybe even on this side of it, and see. I've kept my ultra wide on that I was using there at the creek just above Foster Falls, and I'm going to continue working. I may not be able to climb up there and bring this camera and the camera I'm using right now, so I may just have to kind of tell you about it. But I think I'm going to try to shoot from up there near that tree. Okay, I'm vlogging now with my phone because I couldn't bring my other camera up here. There's the falls. I'm right behind this tree. I've got one leg of the tripod really long and the other two going straight out, and the camera mounted right here on the side of the canyon, shooting across. This lens is manual focus. I can control the aperture and all that sort of thing, and it does send EXIF data, but it's manual focus, and I couldn't get it just exactly right. So I took the camera off of the tripod and held it up to my eye from up here, and 10x zoomed it, got the focus right, put it back on the tripod, and made the shot. I'm at f14, 1.3 seconds. I wonder if I can, and ISO 100. I think I'm going to do one at f16 as well. It's kind of hard to adjust it from here. There's f16, 2-second timer, and done. Precarious position up here to make a shot of this beautiful Denny Falls. This was definitely the most difficult location to make a photograph of the falls. I'm not sure if it's my favorite one or not, probably not, but man, it was difficult shooting off the side of that hill. I'm continuing to work here at Denny Falls. You know, I started and made a shot right there from basically where the camera is now, and then I climbed up this craziness and made a photo from behind that tree, and I couldn't get right on the camera, and I really couldn't see what I was doing, so I don't know if those are any good or not. Then I came down here a lot closer and set the camera up. Wow. So apparently a jet just flew by really low. That scared the crap out of me. But anyway, then I set up the camera on this boulder And I was still able to get the entire falls in with the ultra wide, with the 11-16, which surprised me. That is really unnerving. You know, it's super overcast. I can't see the jets as they go by, but they can't be very high, as loud as that was. Anyway, but this close, I kept getting mist on the lens, so I don't know if those came out any good. Then I came back over here where the camera is now, and I made another couple of shots, and then I set a 20-second timer, and I stood on the boulder and made a couple of selfies, one really wide and one less wide. And now I've switched it. You know, my shutter speeds were right around a second, maybe just under a second, and I switched. I took my circular polarizer off and I put my 5-stop, I think it's made by a company called ICE. I put my 5-stop circular polarizer ND combo filter on, and because I think this falls looks better with a longer exposure. It kind of streaks the water better, a little bit longer than my regular 1/2 to 1 second. And so now I'm making shots at 2.5 seconds, and it looks pretty good. Looks pretty good. Man, those jets freaked me out.
So this is probably the most obvious composition of the falls, and I really think I like it the best. Up close, ultra wide. The only problem was I kept getting mist on the lens and it was messing up my shot. And here is the 11mm selfie that I made. This one I've cropped to 16:9 and made it nice and wide. And this next one was a little bit closer at 15mm, and this one I square cropped, and I submitted this one to Instagram because the square crop is what works best for Instagram. And then this is another one, except for now I have the 5-stop neutral density circular polarizer combo on, and this one's 2.5 seconds, where the others are faster.
All right, well, I've made lots of compositions here at Denny Falls. I didn't shoot this little spot down here too much. I did try to get something with that second spill. I would call this the third, maybe. I did do something with the second spill with the big waterfall in the background.
I really kind of struggled to make a good composition of this waterfall. It's absolutely beautiful, but it's hard to figure out a composition. And this composition from slightly downstream, I like probably the least of the ones I'm sharing with you today.
But I'm starting to get really cold, so I'm going to get to hiking back. And I got to tell you, those jets flying by really low kind of freaked me out. And also all my batteries, because it's super cold, it's sub-freezing out here. Also, all my batteries are wearing out much quicker than they normally would. Even the one in this little vlogging camera, which never gets low, is starting to get low, and my wireless microphones are starting to get low. So I'm going to start hiking back. And I want to tell you, I did do some slow motion video with the Z50, so I'll probably have some slow motion waterfall video at the very end of this, and I'll check in again when I make it back to the parking lot. Well, I have made it back to the trailhead. The hike took 40 minutes. I hiked nonstop, except for I stopped one time to take a couple of pictures of some folks who were climbing the side of the mountain. So I had to stop and get my backpack off. I already had the right lens on, the 50 to 250 was on, so I made a couple of photos of those. That may have taken 2 minutes, and then I stopped one more time to take my jacket off and festoon it to my backpack. So the whole hike, hiking hard, except for 2 brief stops, takes 40 minutes coming back. And I'll show you those mountain climbing pictures now. I don't think they came out all that great because I was shooting through the forest, but I'll show them to you now.
So here is a 175mm shot from the lower trail of this lady who is climbing the side of the mountain. And this is the 50mm version of basically the same shot, and you can see that she is making her way up the side of that cliff.
Okay, thanks for joining me today for my hiking trip to Denny Falls, with a little pre-Denny Falls bonus of a return trip to Foster Falls. Hope you enjoyed it. If you like the content, thumbs up's always appreciated. And if you want to see some more, subscribe and hit the bell. And I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Bye-bye.